Someone once said, there's no replacement for displacement. More cores and more threads equals more performance. That's my mission. What's yours? Check it out. So here it is, the PC parts bundle, I guess you could call it, that I just picked up for 30 bucks. And here's the case. It's pretty big. It's an Antec. All of this stuff is very old, so that's why I'm not really putting this in the PC flipping series, because I don't feel like I'm going to get very much for this. This is more of just to play around with. So this is I guess this would be considered full-size ATX. And so I was just looking for a case. That's how I found this, and it said in the ad case, $5. And then I clicked on it and he said you could have everything for $30. So here's the case, pretty old, pretty big. Not sure what this is. Fan, rear, oh. So these came with the case, I guess. So you could adjust top, low, high, rear, low, high, because these are Molex powered, so there's no control over them. So I don't know. Oh wow, look at that. Molex to Molex to Molex to Molex. What is that for? Oh, there's the one in the front too. God, so many fans. Okay, so that's the case. It also has this weird thing. So you can slide a SATA drive right in the top here. It's got a little glass cover, plastic. So I guess that's the reset button maybe. And these open. I'm not sure what for. I guess if you had a CD drive and you wanted to hide it a little bit, like that. Something like that. Anyway, that's not the coolest part. Maybe I can sell this case for like 20 bucks. Who knows? So also in the listing was this. He said was a GTX 960, which would have been awesome, but when I look at the label, it says GTX 460. So it's a 460, not a 960. DirectCU brand, 1 gigabyte. My concern here is that this system was entirely together at one point, and he said he took it apart to clean it. Now, you know, if you take it apart to clean it, you could potentially ruin it. So we'll see if these things actually work or not. He did not give any guarantee. He said he doesn't know. This is nice. This is a ASUS ROG Rampage 3 Gene, which I looked up is a smaller version of the Rampage 3 Extreme socket 1366. So this is first generation Intel. This is kind of an overclocking type of motherboard with the reset and the start power button and all that directly here. Get all these SATA ports, twin X16 slots, 6 channel, 6 DDR3 slots. It's triple channel, so you put in 3 at a time. It has these LEDs for troubleshooting. So they'll go through the cycle when everything's good: CPU, RAM, VGA, and boot device. And then these are also supposedly for hooking up voltage monitors. So you can see what's going on with this for extreme overclocking. A ton of fan headers. There's CPU fan here. There's chassis fan, power fan, optional fan. Yet they use the Molex. Weird. So we'll probably not use those fans. Depends if we use this case or not. And then here's the CPU, which he took out to clean. So that's scary. This is the Core i7. What was it again? Can't read it. Oh, 960, yeah. Now, this is, I wasn't even looking for this, but this is good for several reasons. So I currently have the X58 motherboard with the Xeon in it. And then I also have a i7-920, which I can't do anything with. And the Dell motherboard that's originally from a Dell XPS. So I'm wondering if I can put the Xeon in here and overclock it. Because I always suspected that that other motherboard had some issues, and that's why I couldn't overclock very well. If the Xeon doesn't work on this for some reason, the 960 is not bad. It's basically like the 980, it's just slower. It's just 3.2 instead of whatever the 980 is. But I don't know if you can overclock these unless they're X. And then there's the nice heat shield for it. So all of these things are from 2010. This is from 2010, probably the case. Here's the memory. There's three, looks like 3 2 gigabyte sticks for 6 gig, which would have been a lot back then, I guess. And yeah, so I actually have a use for this. Nobody's gonna buy this really, unless they just want it for looks or an old classic system. It's just not really worth anything. But this is the crown jewel. This, I would buy this for $30, honestly. Look at this. Cooler Master V8. It looks like an engine. And I'm a car guy, so I love this. So this, I think, is gonna stay with me forever because this is awesome. So it has 8 heat pipes. Look. There's 6 for the cooler in the middle, and then there's 2 each for these external ones. And then it has this. It's the regular fan header, and it has a manual speed control, so you can whoosh. That's awesome, especially for overclocking. So you can really crank it up. You don't have to use software. The only bad part is this fan is kind of stuck in there, and it's not very big. And I can't imagine that it can suck a lot of air through all of here. And you can't really change it. Somehow you'd have to take this lid off. But what I think I might do is maybe I could get a little... Well, I assume that it cools fine this way anyway. I mean, this was like the best money you could buy probably back then in 2010. Even the review Linus did on it, he said it was completely overkill for any CPU at the time. But they weren't overclocking Xeons to 4.5 gigahertz back then, which is what I'm doing. And so, yeah, You have to go back to the Xeon video to see the overclocking. I could get 4.5, but it was unstable. I could get 4.7. It was even more unstable. The most reliable that I was able to get to was 4.4, I think. And it was running at 90C. And even with water cooling, it was still 90C. It just couldn't cool anymore after that. So I don't know if this is gonna make a difference, but I'd rather have this on there than the water cooler anyway, just because of that. That is badass. But anyway, what I'm thinking is if it's not cool enough, I might stick like an 80mm fan here to help air get into in here, because it kind of can't. See how the fan is like only to that part? You're not getting air to the whole cooler. So put like maybe a CPU cooler or something. Plus with all those fan headers on the motherboard. So what I'm gonna do is, first of all, let's get back to the house. I think I'll just use this case temporarily since it's nice and big. And we'll see if everything works first, and then we'll put the Xeon in there, see if that works. And then we'll try and overclock it again and see what happens. So this is just for fun. I thought you guys would like this. It's just a cool little project. I haven't messed with that X58 in a while. And then I still also have the X79 SLI board, which I could use the cooler for as well. Pins look good here, so that's fine. All right, let's get back to the house and fire this stuff up. Hey, we're in. I reset the BIOS, so let's go into setup. So here's our 960 socket 1366, 3.2 gigahertz. Let's do a quick bench and see. Oh, 450, that's terrible. Shoot. Core i, or 4th gen Core i7 is about 1300 here. So that's like half. No bueno. Memory, let's see, 6 gigs. All right, let's jump in the BIOS. So check this out. This is just like the other ASUS motherboard that I had. It had overclock settings already in it. I guess it comes that way. There's crazy. So let's try that and see what happens. So we're gonna go from 3.2 to 3.8. So here's 3.8 gigahertz, 519, a little better, but not by much. It says 3.2, but it went up. It should be 3.8. Yeah, there it is. You could probably do 4. Thing is, I don't know. I can't read the CPU temperature. Let's see. So here it is at 3.8. This is just idle though, so this isn't the actual temperature. And then it has protection built in for 100C. All right, well, let's try the Xeon and see if it'll recognize it. So here's the Xeon running at 3 gigahertz. The thing is, the settings in the BIOS, there's no auto for that, so you have to do it manually. And I don't remember my settings from that video. I have to look it up. I don't have the notes, because when I tried to do 4.4 gigahertz, it wouldn't boot. So, and actually it should be 3.3 now, but it's only at 3. And it's up to 650. That's pretty big difference. So we have now 22. We're at 6 cores, 12 threads. So I'll have to play around with it a little bit, but it works. I wonder if maybe you can't overclock as much as you could on the other motherboard. Because the other motherboard, there was just no limit. You could go 4.9 if you wanted. But it seems like this one is holding back a little bit. So, it works though. I'm gonna play with it. I have to get Cinebench on here again. This is a different drive than I had before. And then I'll put in the comments below what the actual final result was. Did it overclock more than the original? Less? And at what temperature will we be able to get it stable? All right, that was fun. Thank you for watching. If you guys have any ideas on settings for this CPU, let me know. Also, there is another CPU higher than this. I forgot what it's called, the 5660. There's a probably one or two more that are higher than this Xeon. This is only a 2.7. And I think there's a 3 and a 3.2 Xeon out there, but I haven't found it yet, so we'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching, and yeah, living the old school here. See you later.